and because Welling didn't play Superman in the movies, but since he did the role so well in Enamel, see? We've seen a lot of things about it. I have read about it myself and have commented on it here on the channel. In that article, it was said that he refused to play Superman in the movies because of the uniform. Was it that way? Is that right? I recently read a slightly older article where Tom Ellen himself gave an interview and talked about this. So come on, is that right? Is it because of the uniform? It's kind of a weird story. Come with me, the video is too high. It's very good for you who are a fan of 9. You have to watch this video to the end, right? I'm Tiago Vera, you're in the marathon, welcome here. If you like Mau Vivo, you're in the right place, you're at home. Subscribe to the channel, leave the like, because even though it's an old series, it's a series that I like. It's a series because I like it so much. It's a favorite, so I always bring new content here. So go there, subscribe, stop wasting time, leave the like, and now, yes, let's go to the video, which has a lot for us to talk about, because if we think about it, you're not mine. Guy who is a good actor, he's a very top actor, and we don't see him like that in the cinema, but in series, and now even less. Why did all this happen? Why did he give that missing one too? What happened? And today we will talk about it because he explained something about it himself. Has he never been invited to film? He already received an invitation to play Superman in the Supergear series, but then he rejected it. And this time I kind of agree with him because he said he was no longer in the vibe. He was already a little older, right, than when he did Live Smallville. Actually a little much, right? And it wasn't with him, now it couldn't be done anymore, but we also saw that in Batman he would like it. He himself said that he would like to make a small part there, just like Superman, who is his best friend. Robert Pattinson even sent this one because he was interested, yes, because it would be great for him to go to the cinema now, right? Do something a little more important than the serial jobs and tips he's been doing out there. But the focus of the video today is not that, because he hasn't acted as Superman here since the beginning in the cinema in place of Harry Cavill. Did he really reject it? Because what we've heard is that, in fact, after Smallville, he received the proposal to work to make Superman Cinemas a very good proposal, but he had rejected it because of the uniform, and there have been several articles also about it, but never anything with a real interview with him. I even commented here on something like this, but actually it seems that is not quite how it happened, and he really wanted to do this character, and after the series he was willing, as well as several other invitations he had, except actually in Twilight he really rejected it because he was still recording as Smallville, and he said it was something that took a lot of his time, especially since he was starting to direct the show, so he was learning something new and such. It's something he would also like to do for his future, this directing business and such, so he preferred not because of the way he spoke. He wouldn't want to play a half-baked role. He likes to surrender, and he saw that there would be no way for him to do that. So he rejected Twilight like some other films and series that he also ended up rejecting so as not to disturb Lais. He barely saw that he was focused. It was what he wanted at the moment, and he couldn't do more than one thing. He even commented that some other cast characters were able to reconcile and do more than one thing at the same time. Even Maicon, who did some dubbing work, something else, but he chose not, and he preferred to do very quietly there, Smallville, so he missed some chance, if we can say so, because Smallville is a top series that put him there in the audio. He is the protagonist, so he preferred to do well Smallville and leave these invitations for another opportunity to do well the series, which is what he did. But also in the same article, he comments that he had a lot of difficulty finally accepting the role and he was afraid. as it was the beginning of his career of being marked as this character and he wasn't able to do any other work either, then came that uniform thing that he wanted to do there, the character. He ended up accepting. It took a while. His agent talked to him. He went there, visited Seven, saw what all the work was like there. He says as soon as he saw it, he knew it was serious business. He read the script, which was a requirement that he made to be able to read the entire script, not just an excerpt, the excerpt from his audition, and he ended up becoming interested and accepting to do the series. But he didn't want to be branded as this character here for the rest of his career, and that's kind of what happened after the show, because he gave himself so much to the series that he ended up leaving other opportunities aside, as we have already seen here. And also, of course, Superman is a character that will really mark him. Then at the end of it all, after more than 10 years of recording, he saw that he was already there as Superman. He said, now that I'm here, let's go to the cinema too. Except it didn't work out very well, and he even took the test, but we'll talk about it in a moment. Open quotes. I was very afraid to accept to do the role and had to stay years in a single role, but then I got used to it and that routine that in. It took 10 years of hard work and a huge reward from the public. Date Aspas. So during those 10 years, says Malview made only 3 films, 12 more in 2003, The Fog in 2005, and 12 more in 2005 as well. And in the same year, declined Stephanie Mee's own invitation to Emily Colley and the Twilight Saga, which had 5 films produced from 2008 to 2011. There was a way to reconcile the recordings with the Twilight films, but I wasn't sad. And Complete, I was also involved as an executive producer of 2 series at the same time, Smallville, Y. Elkers, Cheerleaders, starring 2 Disney stars, and it really closed a big door for Tom in theaters for 8 years of his life, and the studios even started calling him ungrateful after he turned down some considered proposals. Very good, even as a protagonist to act in the cinema. So he talked to his agent and asked him not to talk to him anymore about this, about movie proposals and such, that he wasn't available. And while the show wasn't over, quote, the studios thought I was ungrateful. My series is moving. It took a lot longer to shoot because it involved special effects. What other TV series do you close quotes from? In 2006, he auditioned for the role of Superman in the movies, but lost the role to Brendan. He took the test. He was pretty disappointed when he didn't pass, because he really spent a lot of time in his life playing the cheerleading role, and he was sure he would pass that test. He later commented that he was surprised, as he dedicated several years of his life to playing the role of cheerleader, and he would think so. Is it fair that he played this role in the cinema too and didn't understand why he didn't move on? The director commented something about not wanting to mix the cinema with the series, which would be 2 totally different things, but which doesn't make any sense since Marvel, for example, does this and does it very well, taking his character from the series to the cinema or from the cinema to the series. And the guys really enjoy this sequence. Everyone, the world likes it. I doubt there would be anyone who wouldn't like Tom there in the movies, since he played the role of Clark very well on television. Only 6 years later, it was speculated that he would return to the cinema with a film, Snow White and the Huntsman. In 2012, he was considered to play Eric the Hunter in the film, but the role was offered to Chris Hansen, Thor, in the film The Avengers. At the time, the role of the seductive Christian was taken for granted. I called the 50 Shades of Grey trilogy, but then it ended up happening in neither of the 2, and the door to the cinema for Tom was already kind of closing too. And in 50 Shades of Grey, someone from the production commented on something they also wanted to do, something different. He was a more serious character and such, and they didn't want to confuse it with the Superman sideshow, which someone could associate.
and the movie could end up not working out so well. And fortunately, that's what he predicted was going to happen a few years ago and was happening now. And also Tom decided to give himself more to the series and started directing one episode after the other as the money was out. After that, Tom commented on what it's like to work for almost 10 years with the same people, and even more, how did they meet, what was it like there, because they were practically unknown actors. They went down to Smallville together, spent a long day and night together. He said that he ended up forming a family there, and that they all maintained communication even after the end of the series. One goes to the other's house, are always scheduling meetings together, and are always talking about the series, going to events, also talk about the series. They always talk on Instagram, post about it. The series, one comments on a post of the other, and even after so long they met. And Tom also commented that on one occasion, Ellison herself called him saying that she had scheduled a meeting for a little girl there at Starbucks and such to talk a little. And he went with his wife. Arriving there, he said that everyone from the series was there. Production, actors, everyone was at a gigantic table, laughing their asses off, talking about the series.
After dedicating years to playing Superman, he hoped to transition to movies but wasn't chosen. Directors didn't want to mix cinema and TV roles, unlike Marvel. 6 years later, he was considered for roles in Snow White and the Huntsman and 50 Shades of Grey, but missed out. He shifted focus to directing series episodes and maintained close bonds with the cast, forming a family-like community over the years. Good guys, today's video was very long. It will stay here. Leave your like. There's a lot of work to do. Subscribe to the channel, and I hope it will be ready tomorrow. The next video by Mal V, which is also amazing, and Mike and Rosenbaum, Lex Luthor, is going to tell about some things that he doesn't agree with in the series, that he was very sad. So he said, stay with God, bye-bye, and until next time.